Some people say that during the time of Imam Abu Hanifa, some hadith were not found, so he presented fiqh using qiyas. But now if authentic hadith is found in Al-Bukhari or Sahih Muslim, then we should not take that ruling which was given using qiyas. So is this understanding correct or not? How should common man address this concern? How much trust a common should give to today's scholars? Should he verify whether today's scholar convey, should he verify whatever today's scholar convey? So this is very lengthy, but in short, this claim is somewhat problematic. If you carry that opinion everywhere, it will create more problem than actually solve problems. Abu Hanifa radiallahu anh, and the rest of the scholars, they were closer to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, to those who heard the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the students of those who heard the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they were much closer to that than our generation, for sure. And at that time, all scholars had direct connected chains to the hadith of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam through their scholars, their teachers, and the teachers of their teachers, reaching to the companions of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself. Thus, the claim that there might be a hadith that they didn't hear, although it is possible, no human being can claim that he knows all the hadith from the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but their concern with the hadith of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the hadith that carry rulings. How to take a ruling from a hadith. That was their main concern. So they used to follow these and try to find them everywhere. That is the first part. So that understanding, although it has some merits to it, but it is not solidly found. This is number one. Number two, qiyas is part of the understanding in Islam and part of the principles of reaching a ruling when there is no direct proof or source from the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or in the Holy Quran. And this was the action of all scholars. Scholars first try to find the ruling in the Holy Quran by the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from the sayings of the Sahaba, the understandings of earlier generation, and then they will try to interpret it as best as possible. That is the second thing. Thirdly, which is the most important point, the schools of these scholars, it wasn't about the opinion of Abu Hanifa radiallahu anhu alone. It wasn't about the opinion of Imam Malik alone, or Imam Shafi'i alone, or Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal alone. It is a school, a group of many students of that scholar, with other scholars, with their interactions and their discussions throughout, and the following students and scholars in that school, which made this what is called a madh-hab. So it's not the opinion of a single person. And that is why even, for example, in the Hanafi school, you find the opinion of Abu Hanifa, you find the opinion of the two followers of Abu Hanifa, the most famous one, and then you find the opinions of other scholars as well throughout history. So it's a school, a university, an understanding. It's not the opinion of Imam Abu Hanifa by himself. So the other hadith that were supposedly later on came to the knowledge of any of the scholars, yes, that was presented also to the school itself, and it had an opinion in it, whether it changed the ruling or it understood the hadith differently from the other schools that understood it. This is very important. Is it clear or not clear? So it was presented later on, they had an understanding of it, whether they will change the ruling, if they find this a strong evidence ever to follow, or they will think that this hadith, although authentic, does not necessarily mean this, it could mean something else, so that is why they didn't take it as a ruling. So this is also very, very critical. The fourth point after that, which is very important to understand, the authenticity of the hadith itself is not enough to change the ruling. What does that mean? For the hadith itself, you need to understand whether that hadith was said by the Messenger Muhammad ﷺ as a general rule or a specific rule. Was it said in the very beginning of Islam and the ruling changed later on, or is it a valid continuous rule? After those three, was this an answer from the Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ to a specific question from a person, or was it said, addressed by the Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ to the general public, and so on? The possibilities are so many possibilities for the hadith by itself. And all scholars, all of them, they stated very clearly, whenever there is an authentic hadith, to the proof, to this point, a valid proof, to any point, reject whatever I have said, follow that hadith. It's not about the opinion of a person, it's about the religion, the true meaning of it. So all of them, Imam Malik, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad, all of them, they say that when there is hadith, an authentic hadith from the Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ, follow it, ignore whatever opinion I have uttered. That is it. They were searching for the truth. They weren't searching about it. So the opinion here, when it comes, you have to refer it to the scholars in that madhab, in that opinion. What do you say about this hadith? Where the authentic or not? Finally, about a lay person or a common person. For a person that does not have enough knowledge in Islam and the science of tafsir, and science of ulum al-Quran, and the sciences of hadith, in the fiqh principles, all the details. So if he does not have, he is in no position at all to make himself a judge against the madhab or the schools of jurisprudence. You don't have that. So for you, what to do? You follow your own school, whichever you are following, or the scholar that you are asking or you are following. This is the opinion that you have. Later on, after some times, as the brother is saying, you have to make sure that the person that you are asking have enough knowledge, credited, known, he has studied correctly, etc. And supposedly he's a human being, he can make lots of mistakes. This is normal human being. Anytime you come to know that that opinion was wrong, that is when you should follow the truth. At any given time, from in whatever our opinion that you came to realize that this opinion is stronger, closer to the truth, has more solid proof, then follow that. Don't be stubborn. You don't know, you don't have that knowledge, there are no harm. Follow the opinion of the person that you ask or the person that you trust, and there is no harm upon you, inshallah. Allah Almighty does not put a burden upon a soul beyond its capacity, according to the best of your knowledge. That's all. Clear? So we'll conclude with just one important point. All scholars were searching for the truth. All scholars deduce their opinion from the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of the Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ. All scholars are actually following the Sunnah of the Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ, even if they might differ against themselves, when they understand the same hadith sometimes in different ways. So we are talking about human interpretation of the saying of the Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ, or the hadith that came to them. And people differ in their logical analysis and in their opinions. Its example is similar to, now for example, you have the law, the official law in any country, and you have judges. And when you present a case to judges, judges might differ against themselves. The jury can differ, right? Some will say guilty, innocence, yes, no, what type of punishment, etc. Why do they differ? When the law is very fixed, it's very clear. Why do they differ? Differ in their understanding and their analysis. So the proof sometimes is authentic. Yes, this is the exact same hadith. They agree upon it, all of them, but they understand different opinion from it. This is, we are talking about the understanding of human being. Scholar is a human being at the end. Clear? So hopefully it is clear now to you, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Naam.